When it comes to quick configuration, just jumping in, making a quick configuration setting. I don't want to have to use any command line syntax because I'm liable to get it wrong. Again, using the graphical interface can work well. So you've connected to the IP address of your Catalyst, let's say 3650, 3850, or a 5760 wireless LAN controller. And in that wireless web interface, you've logged in. Now what? Well, again, we looked at the idea that you could go to a configuration wizard earlier. Certainly that's true. But what else is available in this environment? Quite a bit. Here on the home page, you can see that we have access to a ton of basic information about what kind of device we're running, what's the iOS, what's the physical device that we're using, how has it been configured, what radio support have we enabled through this wireless controller, right? What modes do we use? What access points are we working with? And it even tells me some things about the wireless LANs that are in use, rogue access points that have been discovered. A lot of great information right there, just kind of on this homepage interface. We can jump over to the next tab and we have the ability to monitor. So monitor is, of course, read, not write, right? It's looking at stuff. It's a nice safe place to diagnose what's going on. So we can see what interfaces, ports, security, mobility, management, and profiling configurations have been set up. We can examine access points in wireless and actually examine the radio types that are in use and how things are working. We can look at interferers and take a look at what is interfering for the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz radio. We can look at rogue detection. So what has been found in terms of rogue devices, and you can label them in configuration as friendly, malicious. They can stay in their default unclassified or as clients or ad hoc rogue, so you can do that. And then we can actually see who's connected to our access point. So we can drill down essentially to see at the controller level, at the access point level, at the rogue access point level, and to the connected clients to our supported access point. So again, we can observe basically all the different levels that we need to, far down as we need. Now, that's great to be able to see it, but what about changing it? That's where we go to the configuration node. So this menu allows us to, of course, use the initial setup wizard for controller, and then we have the ability to manually jump into the controller menu and specify information manually about the information, interfaces, define our VLANs, define DHCP services, define our management interfaces, and NTP. All right, so we can do that. Then we can go to the wireless node, and that's where we configure, all right, here's the SSIDs of all the wireless LANs I want. And this is where you can go into advanced options to manage cleanup, which access points are connected, what radio frequencies are we using, what's mandatory, what's supported, quality of service. We've never really had quality of service before, but converged mode, one of the big things that it does is enable hardware-based chip-level QoS, all right? And that's huge. That's fast and it's efficient, and it's all part of really making it converge, that the rules that we set up for our wireless environment can now apply just like they do for wired. In our security node, this is where we go to change our AAA service if we need to point to a different radius server, manage local EAP, and so define what credentials we can use to log on, access control list, define web-based authentication, the splash pages that we'll see there, and define local policies. And then we can jump into commands, and this allows us to upload and download configuration files, execute a reboot, execute a reset, and set the network time. All right, so cool options there. Be careful, a lot of damage you could do in that node. And then we get to logs. So we can manage our syslog configuration, Web UI. We can activate our licenses here under the administration node. And again, help. Our last node is context sensitive. So if I'm in the midst of configuration and I go to help, it'll launch a help web interface that is based upon looking at logs or looking at RF configuration or looking at monitoring of rogue access points. Whatever it is I'm trying to figure out, help will help me identify exactly what's going on in that context. So it works very well. Finally here, again, as we are navigating, you'll see that the hierarchy of the navigation pane on the left-hand side changes depending on the context that I'm working in. So if I'm in configuration and I'm looking at managing access points, then I'm going to see lots of options related to that, right? Related to radios, access points, advanced nodes, wireless LANs. So, and then from there, once that's selected, then I can jump into the management of that section over here on the right. It's got a nice little set of almost like a ribbon toolbar that we would have in an Office product. Not to name other products out there, but again, very easy to manage and work with in a graphical way, very familiar to the modern worker. So again, this allows you to jump in and quickly configure your wireless environment just the way you want. All right, it really makes it relatively straightforward to focus in on the things that are important. Again, the needle in the haystack, the really eccentric details for the most part are not here. This is where we go to set up most of our options that we would want.